They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President. The deep
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is the Monday afternoon live show. And if you are a member, we had a good name for this. If you're a Prepared Mind member that is guerrilla funding our efforts, thank you very much. You're on the subscribestar.com or the preparedmind.club website. If you're not, you should look in the comments down below. No, not the comments, but the video description. And you can also be here Monday through Friday live with us. It's a much smaller crowd than the zoo. And so you get your chance to just come right up to the front of the line with your questions. Be a guerrilla funder for all of this stuff that's going on. Oh, you're going to love this stuff. This came to me as a joke, as humor from someone I know in the mortgage industry. He put it out on Facebook publicly. He doesn't give a flying frog's fat butt what anyone thinks. The guy has FU money. You know what I'm saying? He's got FU money, so he's going to say whatever the hell he wants. But I'm going to take what he has to say one step further with you guys because we are the Prepared Mind crowd, and there's a lot to discuss. No one side is 100% clean in this, but here is the humor. If Trump saved a drowning child, lunatic liberal Democrats would accuse him of starving the sharks. I thought that's perfect. That's perfect. But I no longer see this as Republicans versus Democrats, and I haven't for a long time. But I have. And I'll be honest with you guys. I have been obstinate. I have clung to the hope that we have a political party in this country that is comprised mainly of people who love this country, but I don't see evidence of that. Instead, what I see evidence is Republicans will only do as they're told until they get caught. No. They'll do whatever the hell they want until they get caught, and then they'll pretend to be Americans. Democrats, on the other hand, are freaking idiots. They'll find any excuse to hate Trump and hate Republicans. And this is the kind of the upshot for us. Have you noticed that not political Republicans, not media Republicans, but everyday run-of-the-mill Republicans like you and I, we don't just go, screw the Democrats, and we love Trump and the Republicans. No. It's like, Trump, did you do something good or something bad? And congressmen and senators in the Republican Party, are you good or bad? You know, we don't just swallow the pill. We don't get hooked by these people and held, right? We're not dunderheads. I mean, the low IQ Republican Christians, they think that if we don't give all of our money to Israel, then we're all going to burn in hell. You know, they're stupid about it, right? And if we don't support the Republicans 100%, you're anti-American. I'm like, what are the Republicans voting for? What are they voting for? Why should I trust them 100%? And here is my example. Are you prepared? I don't like to make statements as you guys know, unless I can back it up, not with just my loud ass opinion, but some facts, some supporting evidence, some thoughts, some philosophy. And that's how I roll. Oh, by the way, get your comments and questions down below. I'm going to do my monologue to be followed by you guys and, your comments, thoughts, questions. If you want to elaborate on any of these topics, get your comments down below. Mr. Uman is in the house, and he'll put them up for the second half. So I said, you can't trust these freaking Republicans. They'll sell us out quicker than you can fucking say sellouts, right? The cork-sucking and that's my new cleaner language. The cork-sucking House Republicans, they slipped immunity into a spending bill for pesticide corporations. They snuck it in there. They sneakity sneaked it in there, but we caught them. Unfreaking believable. The House Republicans trying to give their corporate masters another free ride and immunity from lawsuits. Right? Well, they've been caught. We got loud, and now they have yanked this, they're calling it Section 453, because of massive thinking American backlash. See, all Republicans don't just look at the Republican Party and go, oh, whatever you want. Yes, yes. We'll worship Ukraine. Sorry, Republicans that want Ukraine war. F you. Oh, we worship Israel. Sorry, Republicans. We don't follow what you say. You serve us, you bunch of a-holes. Right? So I asked myself, John, have you learned yet? Republicans are just sneaky, quiet Democrats. They suck ass and they'll screw us unless we watch them closely and tell them what we think. And that's how we turn this legislation around. But we're not going to vote our way out of this, folks. All we can do is slow them down until everything is so bad that we go in and clean house, Declaration of Independence style. That's it. That's my only hope now, is that Americans and America, with approximately 2/3 of the world's firearm supplies in civilian hands, Americans with that many guns and all the ammunition, with the sportsman's training and marksmanship, military training and marksmanship, military training, period, are a huge threat to the New World Order. And we will be the only ones saving this country. Now, we did get a letter from a French gentleman after last night's zoo. And Jolene forwarded me the comments. I'm going to keep his name quiet, but he's from France. France is a very dangerous country, just like England. If you criticize the government, you could go to jail. You could be arrested, prosecuted, fined, have your property confiscated. Don't trust the government, especially over there in France. France is not English common law. France has its own common law. It's French common law. At least it used to be. I'm sure it is like the rest of the nations around the world. It is no longer common law, but rather modernized Roman civil law. But a major difference between English and French law is that when France's government accuses you of a crime, you are guilty until you prove your innocence. Whereas the American system is you are innocent until the government proves you guilty. Even though they'll arrest you, they'll manufacture evidence, they'll fucking lie, they'll put you in a jumpsuit, beat the living shit out of you in jail, take you in front of court so you look like absolute shit. You're treated prejudicially because it's a government judge with government lawyers, government prosecutors, government police and government investigators and a government selected fucking jury. Oh yeah, I feel like I'm going to get a fair trial. Yeah, go ahead and arrest me for no crime. I'll just trust the judicial system to protect me. Not a fucking chance. Oh boy, I'm off to a good start today. Happy Monday, folks. Shit has hit the fan. And folks, now understand me. You know where I am and how I stand on, well, let's see, fascists, Democrats, communists, socialists, lying fucking politicians. I don't like them. I don't like the Republicans either. Show me a Republican that hasn't taken foreign influence money, corporate money, and truly is America first. And I'm going to show you less than a dozen people in government. That's how bad it is. But there's one especially bad government elected official. And I don't even like to call them officials. You're an elected representative. You're no more important than anyone else. But these fucking people think they own us. And this one is one of the worst. The retarded Democrat representative from Texas, Jasmine Ho Crockett, got mad at the Supreme Court because they ruled against her. And she told the Supreme Court, literally, fuck you. Yeah, her career is over. Now, what did the Supreme Court rule? They said that Texas and their redistricting of lines, right, the gerrymandering, jerry-rigging, right, of lines is completely legal. So she lost her Democrat district that was only a Democrat district because of prior bullshit district lines created specially for Democrats and especially to hurt Texas and its conservative nature. So, Jasmine, it's not fuck the Supreme Court. It's, hey ho, fuck you. It is going to get nasty, folks. The Democrats are not happy with anything. The Republicans are not happy with you and me. All of us waking up. And you know who else isn't happy right now? The globalist bankers. They're pissed off. But wait, John, didn't they just take over Venezuela? Well, they got Maduro out, which is what Bibi Netanyahu, you know, the Israeli god, Bibi Netanyahu said, man, it's a good thing we should look into that, Trump. And 3 days later, yeah, he's arrested. Right. Well, they thought they were going to get what they wanted. But now the bankers are pissed. They don't have a Rothschild government puppet installed as the leader. That's right. Venezuela's vice president. Her name is Delcy Rodriguez. She appears to be the one who is in charge of Venezuela now. Trump said, well, I'm in charge. I guess, which means the president, Washington, D.C., the United States of America. Oh, wait, I mean, Israel and the bankers are in charge. Nope. Apparently, Delcy Rodriguez had a conference, set it up to get Maduro removed, but the regime hasn't changed anything other than the figurehead. That's right. She reportedly, this Delcy Rodriguez lady, made the deals and set up Maduro's capture by U.S. military, right? Oh, and I think the military killed 38 Venezuelan military members. Killed 38 people to take Maduro alive. But, folks, the Rothschilds don't like her. No, they don't. They wanted to put their puppet, another communist Venezuelan that is friendly to them, in power. But this Delcy chick, she is the one, I guess, who runs Venezuela. It's not Trump. Bankers, not the bankers. Israel, not the Israel. I'm waiting for someone to start screaming, it's Russia, Russia, Russia. Well, why not? China, China, China. So now, am I happy? Everyone knows and should know I hate communists. I hate communism. I hate socialism. I hate fascism. Yada, yada, yada. But this, to me, I find a degree of humor and some sort of sardonic revenge in it. I don't know. That they thought they were going to just steal all of Venezuela. Well, the gold has disappeared. The silver has disappeared, according to many reports. I guess the silver went to Russia and China, and allegedly a C5 Galaxy, as I discussed last night, rolled in and took their gold. I don't know if that's true because there is so much AI bullshit plastic banana reporting about this. So I try to get my information that I share with you from a more reliable media source or sources. And if I think something is hokey or bullshit, I'll say this is a report that could be hokey or bullshit, but let's talk about it. Anyways, we've got Venezuela. Didn't Trump say no more wars? Didn't Trump say, oh, he did back in 2020, America first? Didn't Trump say, literally he said America first, didn't Trump say no regime changes? And then we get a regime change. Yeah, well, President Trump came out today and said, quote, Cuba is ready to fall, end quote. Well, that's interesting. We just got rid of one communist dictator that didn't have a European Rothschild associated bank. And now apparently Venezuela is not going to have that. So we're going to go after Cuba. Now everyone knows, again, I hate communists, communism, fascism, and tyrants. But I question, why now is Cuba ready to fall? Why is Trump the president that is going after Cuba? Have we seen him wearing a funny hat and praying at a wall and getting bossed around by a bunch of people who are not Americans? Well, it seems to look that way, right? I know the bankers want to put their private banks that they call central banks, national banks. Well, they're all private. Private Western banking cartels want to put their banks into nations that don't have a system, like Venezuela, Cuba, Syria didn't have it, and Libya didn't have it, and Iraq didn't have it. But now a lot of those countries do. Iran doesn't have it. It's funny, all of the enemies of the United States don't have Rothschild central bank cartels run out of Europe in charge. Isn't that interesting? Very, very interesting, right? These countries, and while I don't agree with their political systems, the communism down in Cuba and Venezuela, and also Colombia, which is also being threatened by Trump. Oh yeah, Colombia. But then you've got Iran, which has the theocracy, right? The Muslim caliphate, right? A Muslim religious government. And I don't like them, but they're smart enough to know we don't want these bankers in charge of them. We want to have monetary independence. And so they get sanctioned. They don't get business. They don't get into the trade. And so it hurts them financially. Plus, they're fucking morons as communists and Muslims anyways. So they don't know how to properly, I'm going to use this word loosely. They don't know how to properly exploit their own resources. They don't know how to capitalize on their own resources and help their country, the government, and their people. That being said, right, they've got a good thing going by avoiding the banking system. On the other hand, they're fucking political, monetary, financial retards. What a world, folks. What a world. Yeah, Trump is going, he wants Cuba and Trump wants Colombia. Hang tight, folks. This is not about America and protecting you and me. This is not about making you and me and our lives better, reducing our cost of living, increasing our quality of life. It's about enriching the people that are financing Trump and financing Congress. It's about enriching corporations, enriching the bankers, and giving more power to the globalist scumbag freaks in the World Economic Forum, the ECB, the Biz, Israel, etc. They're all in. That's the club, folks. That's the big club that you and I aren't in. And if they offered me a seat in that club, why would I take it? Right? Would you? Could they offer you some money and get you to join their satanic cause? I don't know. Right? I don't know. Wow, we've got a lot to talk about. Folks, we've got a new boycott target. We do. We have a boycott target. And this is just ridiculous. Hilton Hotels decided that when they saw they have Department of Homeland Security and law enforcement officers trying to stay at their hotels in Minneapolis, they canceled their reservations because Hilton Hotels wants to protect and coddle and hide illegal alien criminals, rapists, and murderers. Now, I got to tell you, the Department of Homeland Security, Border Patrol, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, do you think they're doing a good job? They say they're doing a good job. By the response of stupid companies like Hilton and mainstream media and Democrats, you would think they're arresting everybody they come across. They have actually deported fewer of these scumbags than Biden's administration and Barack Obama's administration. Interesting, no? Yeah, well, I mean, Hillary and Bill and Obama and fucking Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, they all, a couple of decades ago, were anti-immigrants. We got to get these people out of here because they needed people to vote for them. They needed to give them a reason to vote for them. We're going to protect you from those awful immigrants that are fucking our country up. And now they're like, oh shit, we're losing all the votes. We need to bring in those awful immigrants and pay them off and then get them to vote for us. Anyways, Hilton Hotels, time to boycott them. I don't give a shit who owns them. I don't give a shit what state or city they're in. Hilton Hotels, time to fuck you. Just like Cinnabon, Dick's Sporting Goods, Nike, Coca-Cola, Starbucks, any company that is anti-American or allows these anti-American scumbags, you're boycotted. Do not forget Hilton, folks. And any and all other anti-American corporations, political parties, organizations, period. I mean, you can't trust the fucking media. You can't trust the Democrats. You can't trust Washington. You can't trust the Republicans. Who can you trust? Right? Goes back to, let's see, I guess it was Conan's dad in the original Conan the Barbarian with Schwarzenegger. He says, you can't trust man nor woman nor beast, but he points to the sword. And he says, this you can trust. Trust yourself. Think about it, study it, learn it, and trust yourself. Because they're all going to lie to us. It's interesting. And this is, I got more good news for today. Tim Walz says he's not going to run for governor a third time in Minnesota. Now, the reporters today questioned him, and they're pissed off because Tim Walz had a sniveling, whining, bitching, complaining press conference, and he ended it and refused to take any questions on the Somali fraud in daycare, home health care, medical, all of them claiming they're disabled with not Alzheimer's, autism. And this is what I find fascinating about Tim Walz. But it only lasted for a second, and then the inquiring, prepared mind figured it out. If he says he's not going to run for re-election, he's the only major Democrat in the whole country to say he's not going to run again due to his disgrace, due to his scandals, due to criminal investigations. It's not just the Somali stuff, folks. Remember the man that killed a Minnesota senator, went to their door, killed the family in cold blood because this senator in Minnesota was going to was investigating the Somali fraud. And the guy that murdered them claimed Tim Walz hired him. Tim Walz isn't arrested. There's no fucking investigation. Anyways, Tim says he's not going to run again. But I'm guessing that he's only waiting for the news cycle to change, for the attention to go away, for something else to happen, so everyone forgets about all the Somali bullshit, and then he'll run again anyway. He won't drop out, but only when the time comes that he feels safe. The communist sticks his head out of the hole, and if he sees a shadow, he runs for 6 more terms. Uman says, if you're a Democrat and don't acknowledge it, did it really happen? Wow. Yeah, exactly. Interesting stuff. I got more. Let's get to it. Get your stuff into Uman down in the comments. We got a lot to talk about today. At the vice president's home, there was an attack. There was a vandalization. Some say that shots were fired. Others say, well, it was an attempted murder. What the fuck is going on? Well, a young man named Julia. Just kidding. The young man's name was William Defoor, Defoor. But he goes by the name Julia because he's a transgender freak, fruitcake, scumbag idiot. He was arrested by the Secret Service because he allegedly vandalized J.D. Vance's Ohio home. Can we all realize transgenderism, The concept of it is not some cutesy thing. It is the manifestation. Transgenderism is the manifestation of mental illness. Instead of being hidden inside where some lunatic fruitcake, like a Democrat or a Republican in Congress, where they're actually evil fucks, but they pretend to be good. Transgenderism is a mental illness that they don't hide, but it comes out in front. It becomes the way they live. And they are dangerous and violent. We've seen it too many times. I have heard too many transgender people threaten other people with violence if they don't accept, acknowledge, and allow the freaks to, just run around ruining everyone else's good time. All right. Tucker Carlson. He is not letting up on Israel, and he's not letting up on Washington, D.C. being Israel's bitch. I'm going to give you the quote from Tucker Carlson, and you can decide whether or not Tucker is doing it right, or Tucker is not doing enough, or Tucker is bad. Here we go. Quote, imagine a government that totally destroys the country and then criminalizes complaining about it. And the point of that surveillance is not to keep you safe, but to punish you for noticing what they are doing to your country. What he's talking about is Israel working with the United States government in Washington, D.C., trying to scare and intimidate and threaten arrest of Americans for having an opinion and voicing it, writing it, proclaiming it, believing it, sharing it. It's called the First Amendment. It's called free speech. The United States government is strictly prohibited from recognizing any religion as superior to others and giving them preferential treatment. Interesting. What I'm waiting for now with Tucker Carlson after that is for the Trump administration to attack him and then attack all of America as being anti-Semitic. Yeah, because that's exactly what Israel is doing. They're using their influence to totally destroy our country, which is, by the way, criminal, and then criminalize. They want to criminalize people like me and you from complaining about seeing exactly what they're doing, and that they're also bringing in this surveillance, the surveillance superstate, not to keep us safe, but to punish us for saying anything and trying to protect our country, our culture, our traditions, our law. Oh, yeah. And the Constitution. I mean, have we all forgotten the Constitution? I haven't. I have not at all. You know, it's incredible that we have so much documentation about our country. We need to make it public. Our country was started by people who fled scumbag, tyrannical European countries to get religious, secular, personal freedom. And we had to fight the world superpower at the time, the British military, for independence after they screwed us over for so long. And then we had debates, years-long debates that are recorded in the Federalist Papers, which described the arguments of the time and the purpose of the way the Constitution was written, as well as the Bill of Rights. And here is the First Amendment. Congress, the people that write the laws, shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, including Jewishness, Israeliness, Talmudishness, Torahness, none of that. Anything they want to claim, sorry, the government will make no law respecting that, meaning giving them special preference. Now, I'm going to continue with the Constitution's First Amendment. Congress shall make no law prohibiting the free exercise thereof of one's religion, or abridging the freedom of speech. Abridging is kind of like the Second Amendment, right? Where they say shall not be infringed. Infringing is abridging, and abridging is infringing. So we could change the First Amendment to say the right of the people, right? Our free speech shall not be infringed by Congress, nor presidential executive order, or in any way, form, or fashion. And the more they tell you to be quiet, folks, is an indicator that that means you need to be much fucking louder, period. The more they tell you to shut up, get loud. The more they tell you guns are bad, buy more. You bet. The more they say that country's our ally, you know they're fucking lying. Period. Don't do it, folks. Don't fall for their bullshit. It is now time for the Inner Circle. I want your questions, comments, and thoughts right now on the Prepared Mind channel, coming from our guerrilla funders on thepreparedmind.club and subscribestar.com. And by the way, X has now permanently suspended yours truly because I liked and reposted someone else's post that the X censors don't like. I didn't write it. I just reposted it. I just said, look at this. And that's what I used to post there is, right? The opinions and thoughts are not mine, but rather I heart them and I repost them so people can read and see what the fuck is going on. Well, they didn't want to come out and say, John, you're being anti-Semitic. But they didn't temporarily. They permanently suspended me. And then they sent me another email saying, we're going to find out and we're going to approve your blue check mark, meaning they want to take my fucking money, but they don't want to allow me to look at or post anything on X. How the fuck does that work? X, which is owned by Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, by the way, is making a strong push on X. Because, yeah, I have a backup account on X. Elon Musk is pushing the notion that this white genocide is real. And he's fighting that. But I guess you're not allowed to talk about the enemies of our country. All right, I'm going to ramble all day. So what I need to do is switch over to the Inner Circle. All right, let's have some fun. I think our good friend C wants to check in. Till the end of the show, you have an opportunity to get your questions in, comments, thoughts, predictions. It is January 5th, 2026. It is go time. C says, some of those folks killed were Cubans that were supposed to be security for Venezuela's once President Maduro. Okay. Yes, I think we reported last night during the zoo that Cuban government officials were supposed to be responsible for assisting Venezuela, the Venezuelan administration under Maduro, as well as providing some security for Maduro. Trump did say some Americans were injured in this operation, but that they're being well cared for. It was reported allegedly that the Army's Delta Force and Special Forces were involved, which is fascinating. I guess it was their turn, but also that, the same people that went after Osama bin Laden were used to capture Maduro. Well, Osama bin Laden was killed several times. I thought it was the Navy SEALs that got him. Anyways, who knows anymore with Special Forces? It is quite a bit different today than it was when I was a jarhead. Sometimes they're individual units within a branch, and sometimes they're multi-branch units and organizations and efforts. So I don't know. But apparently the Cubans sent some of their communist people down into Venezuela to help protect that communist president and failed. I would not be surprised if this Darcy chick, not Darcy T from the Prepared Mind, but this Darcy Rodriguez or Ramirez or whatever the hell her name is down in Venezuela, she just wanted the power. And maybe she bullshitted Trump and Trump's allies and said, oh, yeah, you get Maduro out of here and the country's yours. And then she steps up and goes, well, I'm the vice president. Looks like I'm now the president. And Maduro is going to trial. Apparently, by the way, they arraigned Maduro today. He was arrested yesterday, and today he was in court being arraigned and charged with crimes. Why is it a foreign president can be, kidnapped, absconded with, transported to Washington, D.C., and he gets arraigned the next day and knows what he's being charged with, is given his rights. Oh, yeah, he was told what his rights are as a non-American, and he was provided a legal defense team. Why is it that Americans who live in America and pay American fucking taxes were arrested because of their participation in January 6th? They were not given their rights. They were not taken and arraigned and told what their crimes were and given lawyers for defense. And they were held without trial for fucking years. Tell you what, Maduro basically has gotten the Manuel Noriega treatment. And does everyone remember Manuel Noriega of Panama? His nickname was Pineapple Face from the late 80s, early 90s fame, where he was finally captured. And I got firsthand information from someone who was transporting him. He was in the Air Force. They transported Noriega up to, I think it was Miami was his first stop, and he was put up in a very nice hotel. And it was interesting. This former Marine who joined the Air Force and ultimately went and became a French Foreign Legion mercenary. So I got to meet this guy and talk to him about a lot of the shit he did. Find out how dirty and corrupt our governments all are. Oh, yes. But he said that Noriega was surprised he wasn't being taken and having a bullet put in his head. Surprised. Our country's pretty nice to criminals when they steal a country. Yeah, they want to make sure that, you're well rewarded for doing a good job. In any event, what a day. What a day. Okay, I've got that. Why are people calling me so late in the day? Don't they know better? I tell you. Okay, let's see. Chin Music sending me some stuff. All right, let's do this. Mr. Uman, what is the next topic, the next question? And it's Do Stuff with Nikki. And I think we're going to start hearing more from Nikki. I think she's back. She was on world tour all the way at Venus and Mars and around the solar system, but she's back. She says, oh my, what happened to all that freedom of speech on the election platform, right? X. Well, freedom of speech went away. Why? Why is that? Because Americans were noticing too much Israeli influence over American politicians. And it was kind of started by Tucker Carlson. It was kind of started by Nick Fuentes. It was kind of started by, Charlie Kirk. Right now, Nick Fuentes is a very loudmouth, foul-mouthed, don't give a shit about nothing, say it just to piss people off kind of young guy and as a Gen Zer. Good for him. You know what I say? Nick, say whatever the hell you want. If it makes sense, people are going to listen. Doesn't make sense, people won't listen. Tucker is Gen X like us, or like most of us. Very smart. Was extremely famous. I remember listening to him when he was, basically fresh out of college, wearing a bow tie on mainstream media. And he spent the last 25 years finding out that it's not about facts or truth or investigative reporting. It's about screwing over Americans and stealing our country. So he's pointing out what's going on. And Charlie Kirk patently, flat out refused Israel and started talking about them. So because of all of that, it became very apparent also that Trump is being controlled. And so Israel wants to silence us all. And so they bought TikTok. Trump made sure that Israeli, shall we say, financiers through AIPAC, the America Israeli, and I call it a political action committee because that's what it is. AIPAC, right? They got TikTok so they can control the narrative, the speech. And now we have Jewish billionaires going on mainstream TV saying it's time to curb the First Amendment, time to remove the First Amendment, time to stop Americans. We need to control their thinking and their speech. Well, fuck you, Mr. Shlomo. His guy's name is Shlomo. You're going to do Shlomo is not like George Washington or Thomas Jefferson or Paul Revere or Sam Adams. His name is fucking Shlomo. You think he gives a shit? He gives a fuck? He gives a flying frog's fat ass? No, he doesn't give a shit, a squirt of piss about our Constitution and our rights. They don't. And so, yeah, they're trying to take free speech away. Oh, they're working with Elon Musk. Oh, they're working Elon Musk. They want him to take free speech back out of X. You see, politicians love the First Amendment, folks. Democrats love it. As long as you're saying kill babies, go to war in Ukraine, let in those illegals, fuck America. As long as you're saying that, they're all for free speech. The Republicans are all for free speech as long as you say, I love Israel, I love the war in Ukraine, I love you Americans obeying us, right? That's what they love. That's what they want. They don't really care about us, right? So Nikki continues and says, promises, no more wars. Well, etc. No more wars. What else? Oh, you're going to get lowered taxes, tax rebates, returns, possibly no taxes. Right? We're gonna give you all kinds of money from these tariffs, right? This sucker, it's bullshit, right? It's some bait on a fucking hook. No more wars. America first. Make America great again. Has America been great again the last year? Oh, the Epstein list. Yeah. J.D. Vance, President Trump, Dan Bongina, Kash Patel, all of them. Years before they won the election in 2024, they were talking about the Epstein list and who's on it, and they should all be arrested, and they're a bunch of tough dudes. And then Trump gets elected, and Israel says, hey, we've got a lot of people on that list that were clients, and that's national security, and we don't want the reputation of our very important allies being revealed. Their reputation is they're pedophiles. They don't want that revealed. And so it became a national security issue. And they fucking lied to us and lied to us and lied to us. They promised us arrests. And then they threatened us with, we don't need you Americans. In fact, at that same time, Trump was being corralled by Israel and told, hey, you're our bitch, Orange Man. We'll take care of this. Ever since then, he's like, I don't need you guys. I don't need voters. And he has had an Israeli Christmas. It wasn't a Christmas. It was an Israeli Hanukkah inside the White House. It's just fucking flat out disgusting what is going on. Right? The sellout is in our face. Don't worry, the Democrats can't save us either. Voting for them won't fix it. Voting for Republicans won't fix it. How do we fix it? Constitution. It worked for a long time without Israel. Oh, Israel says without Israel, America is doomed, and that Israel is the reason America is so great and became something real, and their religious values is why America is so great. Just the fucking temerity of these people, the guts, the fucking outlandish arrogance of Israel and Jews everywhere thinking they can just buy our country and we can't say a fucking word about it. Unbelievable. So do something, he says, and now he, I guess meaning Trump, is just a deranged warmonger like all the others. I remember when Trump said in 2016 that he doesn't need anyone else's money. He has his own money, that he can't be bought. Well, he was shot, I guess, through the ear, and I guess that was a warning. It's a hell of a fucking warning shot, don't you think? He started behaving really fast. But I think during his first term, he'd already sold out for the most part. He had Jeff Sessions and then Bill Barr as the Attorney General. They did absolutely fucking nothing. Benjamin Netanyahu comes to the White House or Mar-a-Lago and tells Trump, it'd be great if Nicolas Maduro was removed and replaced. 3 days later, he uses military might, speed, and proficiency to arrest Maduro and extract him. He's had an entire fucking year to arrest a single Epstein client, a single traitorous American politician or bureaucrat responsible for Benghazi, the Ukraine bullshit and lies, the Russia collusion hoax, the January 6th hoax, the January 6th committee prosecution and lies. None of them have been arrested. But Netanyahu says, it'd be great to get rid of that Maduro guy. Done. Yes, Mazza. Oh, I'll be real good from now on, Mr. Netanyahu. Anything you say, man, just let me work on your plantation. That's where we're at with these fucking people. Good golly. All right, Mr. Uman, what else do we want to discuss? I know you've got something to say, and there you are, pal. He says, today I saw they are ramping up talk about replacing Bimbo Bondi with that toothless barking dog, Trey Gowdy. That won't change anything. Folks, Trey Gowdy, guess what he is? He's a Republican. Guess what Trey Gowdy is? He was an attorney. He's smart. He's witty. He's sharp. He's got a really bad fucking haircut. He's an arrogant, pompous, lying sack of worthless fucking dog shit is what Trey Gowdy is. He's already shown us who he is. He left Congress for whatever reason, and then he became a talking head on mainstream media. And Trey Gowdy has been poo-pooing and shitting on American patriots. But we're supposed to believe he's going to be a good attorney general? No, he's a sack of shit. I had, when Trump nominated Matt Gaetz, I went, oh, fuck. Is Trump seriously going to fix this fucking country? And then Matt Gaetz caught fire from the Democrats, fire from Republicans, fire from the lobby groups, fire from Israel. Nobody wanted him. And he dropped it. He said, nope, not going to do it. They probably took him to the woodshed. Said, Matt, you don't get to be an American as the attorney general. You get to be our bitch. So Matt Gaetz bowed and said, no fucking thank you. And he is on social media calling out the liberal left, the liberal Republicans, the anti-American politicians and bureaucrats, as well as our nation's influential foreign friends. But you want to bring in Trey Gowdy? Fucking Bimbo Bondi stood up and was like, yeah, I'm going to go push my politics all over the world, which is anti-gun, and talk a bunch of shit and show up on Fox News at least once a day, right? Trying to feather her nest and powder her own bottom. So maybe she'll get a job on TV when she's done being the attorney general. But she's a piece of worthless shit. Pam Bimbo Bondi, sellout, half-ass Republican. She's a fucking Democrat. But we're going to replace her with Trey Gowdy? That's going to be better? Oh, I'm sure he'll come in and pull his own chain and call his own number and light off fireworks and tell us how good he's going to do. He may even arrest somebody. Woo! Look out. Little skinny twig piece of shit pussy ass Trey Gowdy going to arrest somebody and show us he's an ass kicker. Who's he going to arrest? Who the fuck's he going to arrest? Who will the Democrats put up as sacrificial? Ilhan Omar, maybe? Woo! Yeah, she's a fucking problem, but how hard is it to justify arresting, denaturalizing, and deporting her treasonous ass? And again, arrest 1, 2, 5. There are fucking hundreds of fraudsters, sellouts, money laundering, bribing, extortionists, piece of shit, congressmen, senators, and bureaucrats. Arresting 1 or 2 or 3 is not going to convince me of anything. It's not going to make me go, oh, that Trey Gowdy, I think I like that guy. I don't think so. You want to know why? Because sitting in a chair in mainstream media, he shit on us. He, like the rest of Congress, in their committees, bark, 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 bark. We're tough, 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 tough. Bark, 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 bark. And then they do nothing. All they do is bark. No bite, no teeth. We even have Dr. Anthony Doom Fauci. Guilty, caught, just fucking perjury. Not to mention the crimes he's committed by throwing a bullshit vaccination on the world in America, torturing children, torturing the elderly, torturing all of us with his bullshit lockdowns. Why is he free? Why is he not arrested? Why is he not tried for treason, violating human rights, violating every constitutional fucking law that applies? Trey Gowdy isn't going to change a fucking thing. And I was not aware that Uman was going to bring him up. But I'm glad you did, brother. All of these fucking people, all of them are shit. And I don't know. I mean, they could put Matt Gaetz in there, and I would be like, I like Matt Gaetz. Is he going to do it? And if he arrested one person, I'd be like, good job, Matt. Who else you going to arrest? 2, 3, 4. Good job, Matt Gaetz, as Attorney General. You arrested them. Are you going to arraign them, charge them, prosecute them? Or are you going to play fucking games? Like, we meant to arrest them, but we just did a summons like they did for James Comey. And then they haven't charged him with the fucking crime. And they're not trying him for the fucking crime. The crime of treason. The crime of treason. Malfeasance of office. For not arresting Hillary Clinton for serious federal crimes and national security breaches by having a fucking government server in her basement at her house, unsecured so it could be hacked by the Chinese. I'm going to pop a fucking blood vessel. I'm telling you, folks. Woo! Are you ready for more? Thank you, Uman, for that topic. Wow. Okay. Big news today on the 5th of January, the second trading day. The United States government has come out and said, nuclear energy, good. And the last 2 trading days, uranium stocks have gone up 10 to 20%. Good, because there's a fucking problem in the energy sector, folks. It doesn't mean we need more gas and oil stolen from other countries. It means we need our infrastructure fixed. We don't need supplies of energy. We have plenty of oil, gas, right? Liquid, natural, liquefied petroleum, compressed natural gas. We have all that. We have all the coal we need. We need baseline nuclear energy, not more solar panels, not more windmills. Good. And silver today went up. Let's see. Right now we're sitting at $5.33 up. Gold went up $127 an ounce in one day. So respectively, silver went up 7.5% and gold went up 3%. Whoops. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Uman. What does that mean? It means we have an industrial emergency with silver. And the paper market, the banks are trying to hide it. Meanwhile, silver in America, if you want to buy it, you're not going to buy it at $76.52. You're going to buy it over $90 an ounce in many cases. If you're in another country other than the United States of America, you're going to pay upwards of $100 to $135 an ounce. That's almost double the U.S. spot paper price. There is a shortage of industrial silver, which is required for, well, military munitions, medical equipment, supplies, manufacturing and sterilization, solar panels. Oh, yeah. Every phone, tablet, computer, television, hell, everything has a fucking chip in it now. Your toaster, your refrigerator, your stove, washing machine, hot water heater, they all have silver in them. There's not enough to go around. Hang on to your fucking booties. And gold, bam, going up $125 in a day. We're right back up. Folks, 2 weeks ago, they knocked it down 200. Or back in 2025, just a couple of days ago, knocked it down $200. They know that that is being consumed. The banks need it. Nations need it. It means there's a problem with the money supply. There's a problem with the financial system. There's a problem with the monetary system, the economies. That's why gold is going up and silver is going up. It's also both money, an investment item used for jewelry, silverware, but it's also all those other things I described. Plus, it has its part to play in the energy system. Nuclear power plants, which the United States, all of Europe, all of China, all of other countries are building massive numbers of them. They require a shit ton of silver because it is the only metal that performs and can do the job it's been put into. As well as batteries for EVs. Silver is the battery now. It's going to require silver for, well, long distance, more energy storage, quicker charge, longer battery life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We've got problems, folks, and it can't be fixed by arresting people like Maduro. Even if they were to steal his silver, it's not enough to help this country for more than a couple of weeks. As big as Venezuela is, it's not going to save us. Didn't Trump say he who has the gold makes the rules? They were talking about auditing Fort Knox and, of course, also West Point. And then Denver also has gold storage for the United States government. Never happened. Even though Trump said, we're gonna nope, never happened. That fell off the news cycle, did it not? Because I think someone may have gone to the storage vaults and realized they're like old Mother Hubbard's cupboards, and they be bare. Right? Even if gold is sitting in there, who does it belong to? Has the United States government leased American gold to other countries? Banks. Has the same bar of gold been leased or sold to others by this government more than once? In other words, has it been rehypothecated multiple times? Same with the silver supply. You will hear that J.P. Morgan is a fiduciary for the silver supply in America for the U.S. government. And you'll hear that these banks have massive stockpiles of silver. Well, those were bought by investment firms on the behalf of their clients. So if you bought an ETF through Morgan Stanley or Chase or J.P. Morgan or Goldman Sachs, they're supposed to take the money you sent them and buy silver and put it in a vault and set it off to the side as that's what you bought. It has a physical representation for your paper stock. Well, they can lease that out. They can lend it. They can sell it. And they don't have to tell you a fucking thing. That's why there's a problem. Because they don't really have the silver they say they do. They'll go, we have 700 million ounces, a year's supply, a global supply of silver. But do they really? Do they really own it? Or is that someone else's gold and silver sitting there? You see, government lies. Bureaucrats lie. All politicians lie. Lawyers fucking lie. It's their job description. Banks lie. Financial firms lie. attorneys, judges, and yes, law enforcement, they fucking lie. Are you protected? Are you preparing? Do you have all the items you need for when shit gets nasty? And it may. Right now, we're still in SHTF light, but can you see what they're trying to do? Israel destroying America with homosexuality, cross-dressing, drag queens, and transgenderism, which are, well, they're pet fucking games used to demoralize and destroy the moral fabric of a country, has failed. Even Trump is out there saying, if you were born a man and you have male chromosomes, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, no matter how many surgeries you get or how many drugs you take, this is paraphrasing Trump, you will always be a man. That has failed. Destroying America with that shit, that DEI, LGBTQ, pedophile shit has failed. That doesn't mean they're going to quit and go away, folks. That's why they're pushing destruction of the First Amendment and attacking the Second Amendment, and they're failing on both those items as well. Be loud, be proud, be American, and be armed. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. God bless America. Semper Fi.